Our last keynote speaker for today's session, I'm really pleased to introduce Dave Letele, a man of many talents and achievements, a former professional boxer, community leader, physical and mental health advocate, founder of Buttabean Motivation, and someone many of us would have seen on TV showing off his fleet-footed dancing skills. Dave developed BBM as a community-led initiative to enable his community to achieve better well-being outcomes through physical activity, something he is now working with public health and social service providers to deliver to even more communities. Please join me in welcoming 2022 Kiwibank New Zealand Local Hero of the Year, Dave Letele.
Thanks, sis. All right, just stay there, sis. All right, I've got to take care of my housekeeping, which is marketing, okay? Everything I do in the community is free, except for these, okay? So I'm going to get Jenny May to introduce me as a boxer, okay? I used to be a boxer. I started my boxing career at 210 kilos. Not many boxers start their career at that kind of weight. I like to break the ice and do marketing for me, okay? So I'm going to get Jenny, I'll fill her in what to say, but once you hear her finish the mighty brown Buttabean, everyone here, unless you want to turn this into a boot camp, okay, I will do it. Trust me, okay? I've done it on live TV once and the producers go, what are you doing? They didn't listen. Okay, stand up on your feet when she introduces me. Massive round of applause. I'm going to film it, okay? Then later on, I'm going to put it up on LinkedIn. Doesn't matter how good I speak, it's going to look amazing.
Isn't this supposed to happen at the end?
Yeah.
Aren't you supposed to do this at the end when people are just amazed?
Do it now, then it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Okay, the pressure's off then. I've got the footage.
You're a good man. Okay.
Okay, one sec.
Oh, hang on. I'm usually an auto cue reader. Thank you.
Okay, one sec.
Oh, shit. Seriously?
Action.
Coming in from the red corner, please welcome the mighty Brown Buttabean.
Please sit down. Oh man, it's always so humbling. Thanks so much, team. Always means a lot. Yeah, look, my name is Dave Letele, aka the mighty Brown Buttabean. As you can see there, my first boxing match, I weighed in at 168 kilos. That picture there of me in the red hot pants, just a real good day. Lighting was perfect. And as you can see, at one stage of my life, I had no neck. And it was a miracle. I stopped drinking fizzy drinks, stopped eating KFC every day, I went for a walk, and I grew a neck. So I will talk, a bit about my health journey, but I really just want to start from the beginning. I bet you never thought you'd see a Mongrel Mob patch on your screens. Don't worry, Raylene, I'm not here to recruit. Christchurch chapter. Look, my father was the president of the Auckland chapter of the mob. So I saw a lot of things as a kid that kids are seeing now. I have a lot of arguments with politicians over personal choice. People always tell me, it's personal choice, Dave, but here's the thing. The thing about personal choice is it implies an equal starting point. Do we understand that? For people like me, we couldn't even see a start line. People say, give them a second chance. What about the first? What about the first chance? We're born so far behind, we can't even see a start line. I talk about choice with, a couple of weeks ago, our food bank, I call it a food share. I don't know if you all saw it on the news, it was burgled, robbed. When the police rang me, our alarm's monitored. The alarm people ring me. And when they rang me, I said, it must be a bird got in. It can't be someone robbing it. It can't be. So I send someone to check it out anyway. When he gets there, he rings me up, and sure enough, he said, bro, all our meat's gone. Our cool room's empty. And my heart just sank. My heart sank. I said, have you called the police? He said, yeah, they're not coming. I said, really? They're not coming. Okay. I went there, I went live on my face. Can you believe the cops aren't coming here? Can you believe it? Half an hour later, they're there. I've never seen so many police around. Last time I saw that many cops, I was being raided. But they caught the person, and they just caught the second person today. And I wasn't angry. I was just upset. I felt disheartened because I'm thinking, what's going on in our society where people are stealing food, especially from like a food bank where we would just give it anyway. And then I started talking to the police about their family. So one of the guys that got caught today, he's got kids. So here's the thing about choice. Those two people who got caught made bad choices. What choice do those kids have? None. I was sitting in my car a couple of months ago on my way to Rotorua, and we're all busy people here, and when, sometimes life gets tough. You're so busy, and your brain's just going over, and how can I keep going? And I had that moment. I was sitting in the BP just past Papakura, depressed, thinking about, man, I'm so busy, I can't do this. I get a knock on my window. It's a guy there, he's begging for money. So I go, how's it going, bro? And he said, well, not too good. Me and my partner, we've had an argument with my family up north. We're trying to make our way to Wellington. Me, my wife, and my newborn baby are sleeping in the van over there. So I got up, I'm going to help him. Because I can help him. If we all live that way, if you can help, you should. If you have it and someone asks, give it. Trust me, you will always be blessed in return. So I'm going to go draw some money out to give it to him. But first, I wanted to go check out the van, make sure I'm not being hustled. So I went over to the van, knock on the window. Sure enough, the wife's there. She's so embarrassed. She got the blanket pulled up right over her head. She pulls the blanket down. Would have been maybe a month-old baby there. And it broke my heart because I understand that those parents have made bad choices, but what choice does that little girl have? It'll be an absolute miracle if that little girl can grow up and break the cycle to be something. How can it happen? People like us that can help, working alongside any government, not this one, not the next, all governments, walking alongside them long term, and if you can help, do it. That's the thing about choice. My life started pretty similar. My father's trade. What do you do, Steve? What's your role? What's your trade? You're a journalist? Make sure you write a good report for me. My dad's trade was robbing banks. It's what he did to put food on our table. My first memory of the police was them raiding our house and stealing all our Christmas presents. Well, I shouldn't say stealing all our Christmas presents. It's what they call confiscating. Confiscating all our Christmas presents. But that was the first memory for me of the police, of the system. From that day on, I hated the cops, hated them. Just like a lot of other kids that are growing up similar to this. That's their first introduction to the system, something traumatic. It took me COVID to start liking the police. 40 years old. It took 40 years for me to start liking the police. Where now I work alongside the police. Crazy, we've helped feed thousands of people through the police that they see. It's a very important distinction, okay? I work alongside the police, not for them. I'm not a snitch, okay? So really important distinction where I'm from, okay? But that was, that was my start. My dad got caught at 5 years old for one of the jobs he was doing, and you always get caught. It's a miracle. For me, it's a miracle that I'm not dead or in jail, and I'm not wasting that miracle. I'm here to help as many people as possible. My dad, when he got caught at 5, I don't remember anything. All I remember is the panic in my mum. 99.99% of the time, it's the woman left to sweep up the pieces in that life. I just remember my mum coming home, packing everything, cursing my father. That's it. That's all I remember. Next thing, I'm staying in Australia with my Samoan grandparents, my dad's parents, who were so embarrassed of my dad. They moved countries, took me with them. My sister Vicky there, who's now passed away of cancer. Rest in peace to my sister. She was meant to come with me, but my mum kidnapped her off my grandparents to keep her. So that was my start. That was my start to life. I moved back when my dad got out. Mum and dad are still together. Still together from since they were like 13 years old. I have to say, I always forget to say that my mum and dad have changed. They've broken the cycle. They have changed, and people leave. I forget to say, and people leave. Man, his parents are assholes. They've changed now. They run a foundation called Grace Foundation, which run rehab programs and community housing for people straight out of prison, women's refuges. Because let me tell you, prison is not rehab. It's punishment, yes, but don't expect anyone to come out any better unless there's a proper rehab program that actually works that they can stick to. When I moved back from Australia to live with my dad and my mum and dad, I hated being poor. I never met anyone who likes it. I hated it, but I didn't want to go down the same path as my dad, as my mum, and as my other uncle, my Uncle Lay. He was also a bank robber. He's also a mobster. But, even in this room, every trade, right, there's always specialties, eh? You specialize in, My uncle specialized and focused on armored trucks. It's funny. We're poor, but we always look forward to his Christmas presents. They're always good. And so I do go off topic sometimes, but he came home one day. Back in the old days when you needed coins to play video games, spaceys. He came home one day and he gave me and my sister Vicky a big bag full of coins. He goes, go play some spaceys. So me and my sister were so happy. Two little brown kids walking down Queen Street with a big bag full of coins, big smiles on our faces. Only problem was it still had ASB Bank written on the bag. So can you imagine what that was like? But so that was us. That was normalized. We didn't think anything different. But I didn't want to use it as an excuse to go down that same path. I used it as fuel. I wanted to be better. I wanted to make money. I wanted to look after my family. So I studied really hard. I passed school C. I passed sixth form. My grades in sixth form were good enough to get me to uni. So I went to uni. Only problem was that's all I did. I went there. and discovered Shadows Bar. Anyone else discover that place too? But look, I thought I was breaking the cycle. And anyone who's done that, I was speaking to one of the bros earlier, anyone who's broken the cycle can understand how hard it is. I thought I had done it. But my life just took a massive, massive detour. 21, my dad, who was tired of being poor, tired of not having nice things, and that's what a lot of this is driven by. Money. My dad got tired of being poor, so he'd been a bank robber. He was a courier driver at the time, and he decided to try his hand at a different trade. And he became a gardener. What do you think he was growing? Huh? It wasn't tomatoes. It's funny. We had a hydroponic shop called Pro Hydro in Monaco. And every now and then a little old white lady will wander into the shop and ask us, how do you grow tomatoes? What's the nutrients? Oh, fuck if I know. Our nutrients are called Budzilla. But that was, I had 2 part-time jobs while I was at uni. One at a video shop with my mate Dave Higgins at Mission Bay video shop, the video shop, Eastridge. One there and one at one of my dad's warehouses on Tidal Road, had a massive warehouse. It was a hydroponic setup filled with hydroponics. Tidal Road, Mangere. I was a security guard with my cousin Conan. We weren't the type of security guards that called the police. We were there to stop us being robbed, stop someone coming to steal our crop. So obviously we had guns and stuff there, and it was just crazy. When you do things like this, you have to have a cover. You have to do like a front. You know what I'm saying? You pretend you're doing something. You have to have like a legitimate business to cover. You can't just turn up there, grow weed, So our cover was a picnic table making business. So we're good with wood because we always have to put fake walls up in houses. So put a table together, disassemble it. Put a table together, we get pissed off we sold one. To go buy more materials. But at 21, I'll never forget the phone call I got from my mum saying, don't go to work today, we've been raided. And that's the feeling that I talk to youth about who think it's cool to be a gangster. I talk about that feeling. I was so scared. and angry with my father. When he went away at 5, I didn't get it. I didn't understand. At 21, I fully understood the repercussions of my father's actions on me, my mum, and my 2 younger sisters. In that life, you're open. The men are gone. My uncle's serving 15 years in Buttabean. He's gone. Dad's gone back to prison. It's just me. So in boxing, I played a bad guy, like a wrestling character. You know, could have boxed very well, could talk it up a lot. But this was real life, where I thought, okay, I have to be as bad as I can to build a reputation as quickly as I could, to let everybody know my uncle's gone, my dad's gone, but I'm still here, and I can still do something to protect my mother. Don't even think about coming towards us. I'm still here. And no one should have to go through that. You know, some of us in this room may have had to go through that. I was just so angry, like a lot of youth that I can tell you that we know now, we see around doing all this crime. I was just angry and hating the system. Chips on both my shoulders. Hating everyone and violent. That was me. I came home one night and I was just so upset. I walked into the kitchen, I opened up the kitchen drawer, I pulled out a steak knife and I put it in my chest. And I feel the lump every morning when I wake up, just to remind myself how far I've come. And it's never easy to talk about. But I want to encourage everyone here to let you know it's okay to talk about it. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's important that you talk about it and you reach out and ask for help. It's not a sign of weakness to be vulnerable and ask for help. It's a sign of strength. I wish I had. I just remember waking up in hospital, Middlemore Hospital. Mum's there, she's crying her ass off. I'm trying to just console my mother, saying, Mum, it's okay. I was just drunk. I didn't mean it. You know, then they bring my dad in with 2 prison guards. I don't want to see him. I'm still so angry with my father. And then when you do things like that, they send a psychiatrist around to evaluate you. You know, I actually did do some stuff at uni that I enjoyed. Psychology as a social science and Psych 101. I really enjoyed it. Got A's in both those papers. So I just told this lady what she wanted to hear. You know, and I was out. Simple as that. And it's crazy, earlier this year, I spoke to the Middlemore Director General of Mental Health and some of the staff. And I know we're government here, so I won't go into it, but geez, they pissed me off, these guys. Anyway, I'm sitting there, and the lady goes to me, psychiatrist goes to me, Dave, could we have done anything more to help you? And I said, yep, you could have been more thorough. You could have asked again. I encourage every single person here, when you're checking in on your loved ones, don't just ask once. Ask again. Ask a third time, because you don't know what's going on behind the smile. You just don't know. Be sure to ask. You know, I got out of hospital. Brother, can you chuck me that chair there, please, bro? I got out of Middlemore Hospital. And we're all adults here. And we've been through life. And sometimes I wouldn't be alone in saying, and the way that I felt, where I think I question things, right? Is this it? Is this all I'm meant for? Surely not. You know, that was me. I'm not religious, but I have faith. I believe in God. I just stared at the sky and said, surely God, there's more for me than this. I didn't know what it was, but I knew I wasn't selling drugs, doing drugs, just being an idiot. I knew I was meant for more than that. I encourage my people not to stay down. And by my people, I'm half Samoan, half Māori. I don't just mean Māori Pacifica. I mean all people, stuck at the bottom, stuck in a rut of life, looking up, thinking it's impossible. I want you all to know it's possible. Can you all say it's possible? It's what? Possible. It's what? Possible. Yep, it's possible. You know, I want you all to understand that obesity, depression, suicide, poverty, those things don't know colour, they affect all of us. I encourage you all not to wait for the system to help you. If you're going to wait for the system to help, you will be waiting all your life. You've got to get up and start. You've got to get up and ask for help. You've got to get up and be willing to accept help. Get up and start. From that doorstep, I played rugby league for North Sydney Bears. I played rugby league in France. I played some rugby in Singapore from this doorstep. From this doorstep, I was contracted to Manly Seagulls from that doorstep. From that doorstep, I own 2 supermarkets in Australia. You'd be thinking, oh, that must be the happy ending, surely. Time for some more muffins. Unfortunately for me, well, I shouldn't say unfortunately, I should say fortunately for me and New Zealand, I still had to go through some more struggle. One of the supermarkets I was in, I turned it around from doing 60,000 turnover a week to $200,000 turnover a week, just one of them. And I thought I'd cracked it, I'm in. But you know, when you start making this kind of money and you're not prepared how to handle money, you are in serious, serious trouble. I spoke to 2,000 kids the other day and I asked the teachers there, are you teaching basic money handling skills in school yet? Is it a part of the curriculum? Can you believe it's not? You know, they're teaching algebra, calculus, trigonometry. What is the point of that stuff? Like maybe if you want to specialize in something, teach budgeting. Because I tell you what, I wish I knew what GST was. And income tax. You know, I remember walking into the accountants saying, I'm done. What do I have to do? I can't keep this up. And I should have just been happy to go and struggle again. I encourage everyone here, if you go through, that's not even if you haven't gone through bad times yet, I guarantee you will. It's inevitable. And when you do, don't be afraid to struggle. Work your way back up. I should have been happy just to do that because I've done it before, but it's not what I knew. You know, my parents, my mum, my uncle, they were all close. When times got tough for them, they didn't budget. They didn't like cut off Sky and stop going out to dinner. They sold drugs and robbed. That's what I saw as a kid. That's what they did when times got tough. That's all I saw. We had a warehouse at one point in Manukau filled with Cadillacs, Lincolns, Range Rovers. I was driving at that point a Mercedes limousine, really low, tinted windows, scream drug dealer. So stupid the stuff we do. Yeah. But in that warehouse where my parents, my family were giving us all these material things that they thought we needed, everything, right? In that warehouse, my cousin hung herself. Who here's a parent? All your kids need is you. And you being the best version of yourself. Your time, that's it. Yeah, it's nice to have material things. Of course it is. But that's all they need is you being the best version of yourself and giving them your time. That's it. Money can't buy it. I wish I had. That's all my cousin wanted was my uncle's time. He didn't give it. 21 years old, she's no longer here. I had to learn that the hard way as well. You know, I don't know why I have to always learn things the hard way, but, you know. I walked out of the accounts and said, that's it, I'm going to be a gangster. I had no tattoos at this time, so I got covered with tattoos because I'm going to be a gangster. So it was just stupid stuff. That's what I saw. I modeled myself with my Uncle A. All the tattoos I got, the same as his. And I dove headfirst into a life of crime over there. I'm not going to say what it was because we're on camera and I've never been caught and no one's going to catch me this way. Not on the public speaking circuit. But, you know, like every gangster that I've ever known and still know today, we do things and justify it for our kids. I'm doing this for my kids, to give them material things, put them in a nice school, everything I'm doing. All the bad stuff I'm doing, it's okay because I'm doing it for my kids. Bullshit. All it is taking you away from your kids. Took my dad away, took my uncle away, took my cousin away, and it took me away from my children. I could no longer live with my family because I was too hot. Someone come to get me, I didn't want my family there. So I was staying in a safe house. January 2014, I was sitting on the toilet. Don't visualize this, I'm just tired, okay? I'm just tired, it's been a long day. I'm sitting on the toilet and I hear all this noise going on. All this yelling and screaming, fighting. So I finish up, I got up, I opened the door, had a gun pointed right at my head. And I always tell youth, it's not like the movies where you think you're tough. I was just lucky I just went to the toilet because there would have been a serious problem. But, you know, I was being robbed. Later on that night, I'm in a boxing gym that I still owned over there by myself. And when I was buying all the drinks and paying for all the lunches and dinners and buying all the drugs, I had everyone around me. But when that happened, when the shit hit the fan, I had no one. I was by myself. I moved back here in February 2014. One of my best mates, David Higgins from Duco Events, Joe Parker's manager, done a lot of great stuff. NRL Nines, Steve, then you were part of that. NRL Nines, you know, he brought Richard Branson over. He's an amazing guy. He was a poor white guy, I was a poor brown guy, we got along. been friends for 30 plus years. He brought me over. He had to pay for me business class because I couldn't fit in economy when I come over. And I was a broken man. Steve, you met me then, right? What was I like then? You met me. A work in progress. I came over here, bad shape physically, worse mentally. I hated my life. This is where I understood. I didn't miss the material things. All I missed was my boys, my kids. Me and my partner, we broke up. She took the 3 boys. Of course she did. I was an idiot. When they left, my son Tavita, who turned 17 2 weeks ago, got his license last week, restricted license. Took me 40 years to get my restricted. When they were leaving to the train station, he turned back, and the look he gave me was like a look where he knew he wasn't going to see me for a while. And that look broke my heart. Because I was just, how did I put my kids through this, you know? But I didn't use it as an excuse to stop. I encourage everyone here, when you go through tough times in life and obstacles and speed bumps, roadblocks, don't use them as an excuse to stop. Use them as fuel. I just would use that feeling of I had to have my kids back. I close my eyes and I dream of the day I'd be at the airport with my arms open and having my 3 boys running up to me. That feeling is what I used. You know, the whole boxing thing. Anyone here remember me from my boxing days? Hopefully not. Keep your hands up. Did you like me or not? Be honest. Sorry. Not really. That's good. Why didn't you like me? Thought I was a prick. Oh, well, I'm going to have to go a bit more in depth on this boxing stuff. So Dave Higgins was really worried about me. He never wanted to leave me alone. So Joe Parker was fighting over in Germany. Were you there, Steve? In Germany, Joe Parker was fighting there. And Dave said to me, Dave, you want to come to Germany, watch Joe fight? Of course I do, free trip. He goes, well, you better train hard because you're not coming business. I went, all right. I started walking twice a day. And you know when you're not in business, I don't know many people that go business, but if you're in economy, and if you know Works Deluxe? Do you know what Works Deluxe is? Works Deluxe guarantees you an empty seat next to you, right? But you're rolling the dice. You're saving your money, and every time someone comes on the plane, you're hoping that's not going to sit next to you, right? And then you hope that if someone does sit next to you, it's not a real big guy like I was. So I come on the plane last, and it was the Melbourne to Dubai leg, and it's the longest part of the trip. And I'm sitting right at the back. I couldn't walk through normal because I'm too big. Okay, so I had to walk through sideways like this. Me and that guy over there, we locked eyes from a long way back. He was shocked, like the look of horror on his face. I said, look, I'm sorry, man, it's going to be a long trip for you. And it was. But over in Germany, they'd never seen such a large tattooed islander before with a shaved head, looking angry. And they wanted to see what I weighed, like the head of German boxing. At Joe Parker's, the undercard weigh-in, wanted to see what I weighed. I said, I want to see what I weigh too, because every time I jump on the scale back home, it always says error. So it's not the batteries either. So they dragged me through the crowd like an elephant by the trunk. Put me on the scale, and I weighed 178 kilos. And everyone was shocked at how fat I was. You know, like, they just can't believe this. But I was just so happy because I just realized how much weight I'd lost. I'd lost like 30 kilos. So while everyone else was shocked, I was like, yes! I'm the man! I'm the man! I'll beat anyone here. I'm the toughest man in the world. You know, the stuff you see on YouTube and Rocky and all this, you know. And that's when Dave Higgins had the idea. He's a marketing genius. He goes, that's it. We've had little people fighting. We've had celebrities fight, had rugby versus league. We've had all these. You are the next circus act. We're going to roll you out before Joe Parker fights next. These are the exact words, roll you out. And we're going to call you the brown Buttabean. The reason where that name comes from is a famous American boxer called Buttabean. Quite a large guy, white guy. I was quite a large brown guy, so they called me the brown Buttabean. And the premise of it was, the brown Buttabean does whatever he wants. He goes wherever he wants. He says whatever he wants. When he turns up to a press conference, he causes fights. He throws chairs. He punches people. You know, that's what he does. He only talks about himself in the third person. So Joe Parker versus Brian Minto, I get up and I call all of South Auckland out. I said, there's no one in this country, let alone South Auckland, tougher than the mighty brown Buttabean. Come at me, bro. And people like you thought I was a prick. You know, like they put it online, they put it in the paper, put it on TV, and the amount of hate I got was unbelievable. The worst, I mean, I was getting death threats. I'm going to shoot you on sight. The worst one I ever got was, I'm going to send you some rope to hang your family with. At this point in my life, I was staying in a sleep out on a mattress on the floor in Clendon at a community home with a rapist and a drug dealer and a robber. That's where I was, getting all this constant hate. But I didn't use it as an excuse to stop. I just used it as, I'll show you what I can do. Trained hard, watch what I ate, used my kids as my fuel to keep me going. And I was winning, and I kept losing weight. And because I was losing weight on TV, before Joe Parker fights, everyone was asking me, what's the secret? Everyone thinks there's a secret to, not just about losing weight, it's about being healthy and happy, right? Because you can lose weight and be miserable. Who wants that? You know, you can't survive on chicken and broccoli just to have a six-pack on Instagram. It's about being miserable, you know. It's about being healthy and happy. Here is the secret, okay? Stop drinking fizzy drinks every day. Stop eating KFC and rubbish every day and go for a walk. That's it. That's the secret. People say to me, man, when this happened, people say to me, man, Dave, it can't be that easy. I said, who said it was easy? I said, it's that simple, but it's not easy. You've got to work. So from that, I started this group called BBM Motivation, Buttabean Motivation. I started this as a place I could send people to, just a blog, right? I could start, because everywhere else on all my other socials, I was being an idiot. But in this group, I could be myself. It was private. We started our first boot camp at Trust Stadium with one person, helping my father-in-law's mate. All free, right? We started out Papatoe in a driveway, one person, to this. Thousands of people. Steve's crazy seeing Steve here. Steve helped me to organize that. This very event, that stage there, we got it the day before the event, hey Steve, trying to figure out how to put it together. You know, no money, we had no money to do it. The significance of this photo for me is when I first moved over from Australia, I came to the NRL 9s, and I was up in those VIP lounges, in those bathrooms there, snorting all types of stuff up my nose. And how crazy is it that I'm good friends now with Nick Sortner, right, the CEO of Eden Park. And anyone who knows Nick Sortner, he's Rayleigh, you'd know him. Really nice guy, right? Really straight arrow. Walking around those VIP lounges, I said, man, Steve, I've done some drugs in those toilets, bro. He goes, don't tell me that, Dave. I said, I'm just being real. But the thing is, this here shows what's possible. To go from that to this shows it's possible. It's what? Possible. From there, we moved to our first, we were in school halls, in fields, wherever we could. Then we moved inside. This place here cost me $140,000 a year, and I don't charge anyone 1 cent. We only just started getting some government funding for this, our Ministry of Health funding for our long-term conditions program called From the Couch late last year after 8 years. We finally got it. This program here, we run it in here. We run our classroom, we run our youth programs, and we run our employment programs in here. BBM West in New Lynn, this place here cost me $90,000 a year, and I don't charge anyone 1 cent. In Manukau and New Lynn, we have free doctors for anyone with long-term health conditions. People say to me, the business side of health, because health's a business, they say to me, Dave, that's radical. So why is it radical? It's accessible. People will come here, they feel safe, they can bring their family. At Middlemore Hospital, they told me not to tell anyone. I've told everyone since they told me. A few months ago at Middlemore Hospital, in one day, 200 people were diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. 200 in one day at one hospital. In this, I don't know if you guys saw it, the Ministry of Health had this awesome action plan for diabetes. They were so happy with it. They mentioned it to me and Rob Campbell. They emailed it to us. Oh, you guys are going to be so happy with this plan, this action plan. I said, what a disgrace. It mentioned exercise once. It only mentioned dealing with us once we have type 2 diabetes and it's helping us to live with it. No talk about preventing it. No talk about you can actually reverse it. Just mention exercise once and how do we help them to live with type 2 diabetes. It just does my head in. We have a program that reverses type 2 diabetes. We started the BBM Community Kitchen. We started this because the most common excuse I hear is it's expensive to eat healthy. And it can be. But no one can use that excuse with me because I had no money when I started. But the difference was I was educated, right? I knew from my sporting background how to make the best choices that were available to me. So that's all we do here. How to cook healthy on a budget. How to shop healthy on a budget. That's all of our education programs are run through here. Education is power. We started our food share. I don't call it a food bank because the word food bank to me has a negative connotation. We started this because out of our gym. I started it because a social worker, a friend of mine at West Auckland, rang me the day before. Remember what the first level 4 was like? The uncertainty, the media, it was scary, right? The day before, the first ever level 4, the social worker rings me and said, Dave, we've got a family out south, a mother with 4 kids, who's got no money and no food the day before the first ever level 4. Can you help? Why can't you? Well, our funding won't cover a South Auckland family. But we know she's there. How ridiculous is that? The system is so filled with a thing I like to call bureaucrat that they couldn't help this mother of 4 with no food and no money. So of course I went out. I went out and helped because I can help. If we all lived that way, this world will be a better place. If you can help, you should. I went out, I got shopping. As I'm walking out, the mum's crying. The kids come running up. Mum, we've got food now. And it broke my heart because I knew anyone who only just had their heads above water pre-COVID is going to fucking drown now. And we've seen it. That's what we've seen. So that day, I started the BBM Food Share out of our gym with no government funding, 1,000 families a week, meat, fruit, veg, groceries, nappies, everything. I don't give any family stuff that I wouldn't eat. I don't give any families out-of-date stuff. Everything that I would eat, and it takes a lot of hustle. First thing I did, who's on LinkedIn here? Please go connect with me. LinkedIn, Dave, Letele. You'll see the magic happen. All right? Okay. I jumped on there and I started researching who's the boss of all these food companies. I found Chris Quinn, CEO of Foodstuffs North Island. Saw I had a mutual contact, so I rang my mate Boris. Boris, I've lost Chris's number. Can you send that over to me? No, Dave, no. Give me the number. Anyway, I got it. And he helped because he could. Foodstuffs helped because they could. Packers Saves, New Worlds, they all help because they can. From that relationship, we started our first ever social supermarket in Tukoroa. We opened that only a few months ago. Tukoroa, man, there's some issues down there. We opened it up, and the reason I opened the gym first, is there's a guy down there that we're helping that weighs, 450 kilos. Every time I visit him, I would leave thinking, this guy, if he had what we have in Auckland here, he'd have more of a chance of living. So I didn't think about it, I just leased the warehouse. No funding. I never tell the landlords that though. They don't take faith as a currency. But I didn't sign the lease until Mikey turned up in the building. So Mikey, I've got an awesome warehouse here. I'm only signing this lease if I know you can make it. And he did. Now he's at the gym 3 times a week. This place here. We started the social supermarket because in the food share, right, or food bank, we're helping the same people we had for 2.5 years. Some of them, their situations haven't improved. They're still in the same rut that they were 2.5 years ago. I want to know why. How can we help you better? To give you a hand up. The problem about food banks is there's no connection. They come, they pick a parcel, they leave. We go, we deliver, we leave. Here, they shop. There's a connection. Even the little things, like when the mum goes home. Mum, where you been? I've been shopping. I haven't been to the food bank, I've been shopping. But while they're there walking around with a trolley and choosing what they want, so the dignity of choice back, they choose what they want. Our workers there saying, how else can we help you? What else is going on? Why do you need this service? What's happened in life? Do you need a job? Are you looking for a job? If you're not looking for a job, why not? What are the obstacles stopping you from working? This here is building genuine connections, and it's a proper hand up, because I'm tired of our people being reliant on handouts. I'm going to finish with some journeys. I always like starting with Rob at corporate events because he's great for diversity. What we do works not just for brown people, okay? Rob's actually lost 40 kilos. He's actually now the chairman of Health NZ. I met him when he was the chair of Sky City. And he was there I was there to do a talk, and he was talking to Kevin Mealamu. So I wanted a selfie with Kevin. So when I've got my selfie, Kevin leaves and Rob goes to me, oh, my wife's really worried about my health. I said, well, you should put down the wine and the sausage roll and we'll start tomorrow. And we did. You know, it's probably worked too well on Rob because he's now vegan and drives an electric vehicle. So worked a little too good on Robbie. He's one of my best mates now, amazing guy. We got here, Georgia. I met Georgia at a mall randomly in Newland. She was on a walking frame, couldn't walk unassisted. Type 2 diabetic for 15 years. One from the couch program with us, no longer type 2 diabetic. She now works for me full-time in our BBM community kitchen. We got Phil. Phil has lost 150 kilos. 150 kilos he's lost. When I met him, he had 1 foot in the grave, had a lymphedema in between his legs, which would leak. I'd see him for a week, wouldn't see him for 2 because he'd either be at home elevating his leg or in hospital. He was on a sickness benefit for 15 years. He was not living, he was existing. He now works for me full-time and runs my Monaco gym, runs our From the Couch program. Just an amazing, if he can do it, anyone can. If you're sitting there thinking I can't do it, you're wrong, because it's possible. It's what? Possible. All right, here's my last 4 tips. Not just for a healthy lifestyle, just for everything. Business, everything. You know, just an example of business. I get approached by a lot of NGOs, a lot of groups wanting to start stuff, right? A lot of community groups wanting to start, especially a lot of mental health groups at the moment. One of my mates who wants to start a mental health organisation comes up to me and goes, Dave, him and his mate come up to see me. Dave, I just want some advice. Is there a shortcut? So, no fucking shortcut, man. You know, they see where we are now. They haven't seen the work that's gone in, you know. And he's saying to me, oh, yeah, we want to start this. Well, have you started yet? Oh, no, just trying to find ways to make money. You know, what do we got to do to get money so we can start? I said, what do you need money for? Just start. So you see your mate there? He goes, yeah. I said, well, he looks like he's got issues. Help him. You know? And then document it. You know, how can you go to an organization you're trying to sell a mental health program if you don't have a program around health? So many people reach out to me. Please come visit my mum, my dad, my brother, my uncle. They need your motivation when they get out. Some of those people never made it out. We might be sitting here thinking it won't happen to me, drink more crap, eat more crap, do no exercise, or what happened to me, until it does. Until it does. Every single person I've visited in hospital, they all had one thing in common. They would give absolutely anything to have an opportunity to go back in time and start. So while we're all here and we have that opportunity, why are we going to waste it? And we're not. Stand up, team, let's go. Stand up, team. Cue my entrance music again, please. All right. Just got a box, okay? Just got a box. Give yourself some room, okay? Give yourself some room. Don't hit anyone. All right, just going to cruise. Just going to cruise, okay? Okay, when I say hey, hey, you say ho. Hey, hey! Ho! Nice, cruise, okay? Put on my music, please. Okay? And then we're going to go hard and fast. Okay, make sure we're punching from our chin. If you want to know why, go watch my last fight, okay? All right, hard and fast, let's go. Hard and fast. Don't forget to breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and cruise. Slow it down. Cruise does not mean stop. Hard and fast, let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, and cruise. Slow it down, slow it down. We've got one more sprint. Hard and fast, let's go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and cruise. All right, now the music's on. That was the warm-up. Turn it up nice and loud. One more sprint. Sprint. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, and cruise. Slow it down. We're going to go up here. Yep, to the music. Later on, I'll add some rave music to this. Sprint! That's it. All the way up. Long punches, all the way up. 5, 4, 3, 2, and cruise. Slow it down. Get your breath back. We've got one more round. One more sprint. Then we're going to hold our hands up straight up in the sky. I'm going to count down nice and loud. Sprint! 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, hold them up, Count down nice and loud from 10. 10, 9. Louder. And time. High five to your neighbor. Oh, it got a bit hot in here. Turn to your neighbor, say, well done, we started. Turn to your other neighbor, say, we got this. All right, now we started. The next thing is being consistent. Being consistent is understanding life sucks sometimes. Life is tough. Sometimes life sucks more than it's any good. When you get knocked down, you just got to get back up. What do you do when you get knocked down? Got to be louder, team. Last one. What do you do when you get knocked down? That's it. That's what consistency is about. I think about the ripple effect, right? If I'd stayed down in 2014, I think about the thousands of kids that will be going to sleep tonight with no food. The thousands of kids that will be waking up tomorrow with no breakfast. The parents that wouldn't be here because they died of a heart attack or type 2 diabetes. I think about this message I got the other day, Thursday last week. I get a message earlier in the year. This waitress where I take my family to eat in Newmarket, right? Don't know her, she just follows our work. She texts me on Instagram saying, my boyfriend, or my ex-boyfriend, I'm pregnant and he doesn't believe it's mine. He's kicked me out. I've got no family, nowhere to go. Can you help? Of course I can. I hooked her up and I said, you go get a place and I'll pay your bond directly to the landlord. So I paid $3,000 to get her into somewhere and we've been helping her with food. Because I can. Because I can help. She messaged me last week. Thank you so much for helping me when I feel like the world was swallowing me and I was suicidal, pregnant and alone. Getting your call saved my life and gave me hope I'm not alone. I've had baby, I will send you photos, hoping to show her to you soon. What would that mother do if I'd stayed down? Think about the ripple effect. Success for all of us, all of our communities. Success is only around the corner, but we will never know if we keep staying down, if we keep giving up. All you've got to do is get back up. Third thing is surrounding yourself with good people. If you surround yourself with 5 idiots, what does that make you? The 6th idiot, yes. Surround yourself with people that are there for you, not because of what you can do for them. They're there because they love you and they care for you and they want you to be the best version of yourself. Surround yourself with people that are going to pick you up when you're down. Surround yourself with people that are hungry. Not hungry for KFC, hungry for success, hungry to be the best. That's all I do, surround myself with any idiots. I surround myself with people that make me want to be better. And the last thing, no excuses. I believe in this so much. I got it tattooed on my back. It could have very easily been a mongrel mob patch on my back, but it's a Buttabean Motivation, no excuses patch. The only way you can truly live by that mantra is by having a very strong why. Living with a purpose. I encourage everyone to go home and write down some meaningful things, maybe a list of 5, right? Try choose one. Put that one thing on a big piece of paper, put it on the first wall you look at when you open your eyes in the morning, on your fridge, in your cupboards, in your car, at work, laminate it, put it in your shower. So when life gets tough and you're thinking of giving up, you can stare at that piece of paper, visualize your why, and understand why you must get up, why you can't give up. My why when I started was I had to have my kids back. I had to have my kids back. Now my why, I've got all my kids, a new son and a wife. My why has been an example for them. My why is also my people. Our why should all be our communities, our people. I want to show our youth that it's possible. It's what? Possible. I want to show youth that you can have a nice house, a nice car, a nice family, everything that you ever wanted and that you deserve, and you don't have to sell drugs and do ram raids to get it. All you've got to do is start, stay consistent, be around good people, and stop letting excuses get in our way. Thank you so much, team.